Hello, I'm Astringent. Welcome to episode 5 of the Root Cause series, which is based on the book that I've authored. Till episode 4, we discussed that how simply the fundamental forces of Ayurveda called as Vata, Pitta and Kapha can be explained in the modern scientific language, and because of varying combinations of these forces, we all have different wiring of the brain and body, making us different from each other. Now, those advanced beings who had written Ayurveda had realized that different tasting foods act differently on our body, and accordingly they divided them in 6 categories, basis tastes. These are sweet, pungent, sour, astringent, salty and bitter, and all of them need to be had in different ratio by different constitutions. Remember that all medicines of Ayurveda work on this principle only and are a combination of different tastes only in varying proportions. Now, foods falling in sweet category are the building blocks of the body, like bricks and cement of the building, and therefore their job is to give shape to our body by adding tissues and also provide us energy to do our daily tasks. Therefore, sweet foods are those that contain primarily proteins, fats, carbohydrates, which can also be called as subtastes of sweet. It has to be borne in mind that one must get all the subtastes of sweet too in the right proportion for a vibrant health. Examples of sweet foods containing primarily proteins are grains like cereals, pulses, milk and its products, eggs and meat. The sweet food which provide primarily carbohydrates are starchy vegetables like potato and sweet potato. And last but not the least, sweet foods containing primarily fats are nuts and seeds, including their oil, ghee, vegetable oils, meat and eggs. Now the word sweet is not to be confused with refined sugar. Yes, refined sugar is also a carbohydrate, but a bad carbohydrate, because consumption of refined sugar alone will just increase our energy levels temporarily to give us a kick. However, sugar will not replenish our building blocks, which are primarily proteins and fats. In the bargain, it will hollow us from inside like a building with gaps due to broken or missing bricks, leading to high vata, causing high agni here and there, causing depletion of tissues, which will lead to physical discomforts like pain and tiredness, to overcome which the body will again ask for more sugar, making one addict to further weaken the system. On the other hand, natural carbohydrates are the good carbohydrates, which along with sugar are also packed with fiber and other building blocks as well. Fiber helps in sustained release of sugar and other nutrients and ensures that system does not get choked and blood does not become thick. Going by the nature, it is easy to understand that sweet foods reduce vata and pitta and increase kapha. The second taste is pungent. We know that our body produces master pitta as discussed in the previous videos. Pungent foods like chilies, black pepper, capsicum, asafoetida, garlic, onion and most of the spices trigger body to release this pitta in the body. It is quite logical to visualize that pungent foods intake increases pitta and reduces kapha. Apart from this, foods that contain high amount of glutamate, that is the master pitta, also increase pitta in the body. Pungent foods can increase or decrease vata depending upon the constitution of the person as well as weather. The third and the fourth tastes are astringent and sour. Now, astringent foods are those whose intake constricts our cells and thus tissues due to compounds called tannin. On the other hand, sour foods are those which expand the tissues due to presence of acids. Thus, both the tastes act opposite to each other. To understand their impact on our body, let us see this illustration. Visualize blood flowing through our blood vessels in a healthy person. Intake of astringent foods will constrict the cells which make up the blood vessels, thereby widening the blood vessels in that area where the astringency is being fed. The result will be that blood will stop reaching the other end, which means extremities or say peripherals of the body, resulting in vata reaching there. In case of vertically aligned blood vessels, one will have more blood towards the base and less towards the top. And that is why astringency can increase as well as decrease vata, pitta and kapha in different parts of the body. And that's why the indiscreet and unwise use of these foods is the reason for many incurable diseases in today's world like fibromyalgia, migraines, etc. Examples of astringent foods are all sorts of teas including green tea, the modern day fad, coffees, jamun, the Indian blackberry, pomegranate, dates, guava, turmeric, most of the vegetables and most of the non-citrus fruits. Don't we feel dryness or tightness in our mouth after consuming these things, especially green tea and jamun? It is because they increase vata by reducing blood flow towards the peripherals. Conversely, since sour foods expand tissues, they will reverse the constriction to reclaim healthy state. Oranges, lemon, tamarind, curd, fermented foods are all examples of sour tastes. Now what if a healthy person takes sour foods? The cells of blood vessels including the blood will expand, thereby reducing the width of the blood vessels and thus increasing the blood pressure. In such circumstances, intake of astringent foods will bring back normalcy. However, unfortunately, due to lack of understanding, this principle of six tastes is totally missing from modern medical science, and therefore modern blood pressure medicine never cures the disease from the root. Rather, it further complicates conditions in the long run, creating vata imbalances, which will be discussed in the upcoming videos. Quite obviously, the effect of sourness on doshas is exactly opposite to that of astringency, and therefore a healthy person with balanced doshas should have both of these tastes in equal quantity. Of course, it will vary from weather to weather. A very important point to note here is that since intestines are the first place of absorption of food, intake of astringent foods with sweet food will increase blood towards intestines while reducing it from other parts of the body, which is the principle used by Ayurveda for curing diseases like ulcerative colitis. All in all, like other tastes, both these tastes too have the capability to create or cure diseases in different people, proving the point that one's nectar can be another's poison. The fifth taste is salty taste. Apart from table salt or Himalayan salt, though in very less quantity, is also naturally found in foods like milk, celery, beetroots, carrot, spinach. The task of salty foods is to nourish our tissues, meaning increase in kapha with essential minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium, manganese and many more. Sodium in salt also increases water retention, thereby increasing the volume of all the fluids in the body. Because of the presence of minerals which aid in nerve conduction, salt also increases pitta. Now, higher volume of blood means it reaches farther corners of the body, thereby reducing vata and giving a feeling of satisfaction and happiness when more blood reaches the brain, thereby giving a kick to it. This is the reason that foods with too much of salt, primarily the junk ones, are addictive in nature, as they give a kick to their brain by gushing blood over there. This is the reason that salt enhances the taste of food and helps us to have more of it. Yes, salt is essential and needs to be taken in moderation, because too much of salt will increase so much of volume of the blood and fluids that will start putting pressure on the walls of the blood vessels, causing high blood pressure. But even less of salt will increase vata and cause issues like headaches, delusions and other vata diseases. In episode 6 of the root cause series, we shall discuss about the bitter taste, which has the most divergent and complex action on our body and whose indiscreet use is responsible for most of the diseases and chaos in today's world. But before that, a very important tip to remember that all foods contain more than one taste, and that's two in different proportions. For example, coffee is bitter, astringent and pungent. Pomegranate is astringent as well as sweet. Indian gooseberry, that is amla, has all the tastes except salt. Apart from your own experience, There are several sites available on the net that can tell you all the tastes present in various foods. This is Alok wishing you a life full of ultimate bliss. Do like and share this video and subscribe to this channel for a happier and a healthier world.